to Season 4 of the Funding Love Adoption Podcast with Mal and Kate.
We are two adoptive moms that seek to love, support, and elevate all corners of the adoption triad while running our nonprofit, Funding Love.
Funding Love creates post-adoption experiences that strengthen bonds, build community, and restore people.
And the Funding Love Adoption Podcast exists to bring education and awareness to those both inside and outside the adoption community.
So pour yourself your favorite beverage and pull up a chair because everyone has a seat at our table.
Together, we are Funding Love,
the podcast.
And welcome back to Season 4 of the Funding Love Adoption Podcast. This season, we are talking all about pre-adoption and all it goes into that journey.
Yeah.
So what is the subject today, Caitlin?
Well, this is episode 4, and our subject today is profiles and presenting. What is a profile? What should your profile be? And what is the process of presenting from what we've learned in our experiences?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what we're going to be talking about. So profile books, to me, to dive right in,
Sure,
is kind of a big deal. I don't know why. We just talked about home studies last week, and that was very scary, but the profiles were daunting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know
They
why
can
it was
definitely
daunting.
feel
Because I told myself, okay, I can make a profile. Certainly I can make a profile. Because there are companies and businesses, small businesses who do this, who do profile books. And I was like, no, I can do it. I don't need anybody else. And then I quickly realized I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I don't know what I'm supposed to write, what I'm supposed to say. Because I'm just going to say it out there. This to me is a big deal because this is the window into your life that the expectant mother gets to see. This is how she's getting to know you through like a little magazine of your family.
I like that you said that. A window into your life. That is exactly. So like to break it down into even simpler terms, it's basically a physical, almost scrapbook. A lot of times they're just printed from companies like
Shutterfly or whatever.
Yeah,
like little
like
magazine
that.
booklets.
If you're
of
envisioning
your
like you went on a vacation and you put all your pictures in the Shutterfly album and have it delivered to you.
Should have brought mine.
They're often like that. And they tell your story as a couple, as a family. And it's your way of sharing who you are with an expectant mom. So oftentimes you have an opportunity to write a little letter to an expectant mom in there. You can tell about you. A lot of times it seems like
for your family.
A lot of times it seems like the husband will write about the wife and the wife will write about the husband so that you can share each other's stories from a different point of view. You can put pictures of your wedding or your children if you already have some, your extended family. You get to share
things you like to do,
the beach,
the park, whatever it is.
And it's like she said, I love the term window into your life to be able to flip through and see exactly who you are.
So this is representing you. So that's why I feel like it's a big deal because so often, once again, there's like this like myth or this idea that you have to be perfect on these profile books. I feel like from my experience now, the second time we did it, I love my profile book so much more. Our second profile book showing our family, it felt more casual. It felt more real. It felt more honest. It felt more like I understood the assignment better.
Right.
So the pictures were more candid. They were us just like sitting on the couch together, in the park together, at Disney, whatever it is that we liked to do. They were more casual, but yeah, it is. It's like a little window. So however you feel like you can represent your personality, your family's values, this is the time and the place. Now, granted, the home study was done, right? But the expectant mother doesn't see all of that stuff.
Right.
This is mostly what she sees when she's choosing you. So this is why it was such a big deal. But tell me, did you make your own or did you have somebody else do it for you?
Yeah, so we did make our own. I think that it's up to you whether or not you're going to try to make your own or hire someone to do that. There is no wrong answer. If you aren't able to make your own and you hire, that is not a bad thing. Like it's good to have someone that knows what they're doing and has done several in the past to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're a creative like me and you like to be in control, then you definitely have that opportunity to make your own. But I would recommend if you are going to try to make your own, look through several to start with to get an idea of the structure of them, of what is expected from them. Talk to your social worker and ask about what specific things you need to add to that. And I would say, like you said, about your second one, you liked it better because it's more casual. This is not something that has to be perfect.
Yeah.
We already know, because we are not perfect people. We know your family is not perfect. That expectant mama that's flipping through the book knows your family is not perfect, and she's probably not expecting you to be perfect. What she wants to see is something that's real and something that's authentic
Relatable.
and truthful. And so don't feel like you need to go out and get expensive professional family photos. Don't feel like every photo needs to be posed with the
Staged,
perfect
posed.
light.
Mhm.
Get those candids in there. I think those are the ones that
Yeah.
expectant mom is going to probably attach the most to. So don't feel like you need to be
Go out and get a whole
perfect.
bunch of photo shoots done to put in this book. Totally
Mhm.
agree. Yeah, you definitely don't have to be perfect. And we actually had when we used Christian adoption consultants for our first adoption process, they offered that, like, do you want us to do your profile book for you? I was like, oh yes, please. And so then I had a questionnaire that we filled out with all of those things. Like Adam had to write, like, what do you love about Caitlin? And I had to write, what do you love about Adam? And then we had to write like a little letter, and then
Mhm.
mission for our family, hopes and dreams for our family. And like even simple things like, favorite color, favorite movie, those sort of things that are relatable, so that they got, the expectant mother can find some sort of
Mhm.
relation there and maybe attach herself to something as simple as that.
Yeah.
So the second time we actually hired a friend of mine, Annie, she's been on the podcast before. She did the profile book for us, and it was perfect. I flipped through, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my family. Like, it felt so real to us.
Mhm.
And so I was so grateful that she took that weight off of me.
Mhm.
And but I would say to that note of hiring somebody to do it, since it is representing your family, don't be afraid to say that doesn't feel like me.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Like, can we change this? Or even like sometimes the color scheme of the book
Mhm.
feels a little bit off to you. You want it from everything from page 1 to the way that your words are written to be a reflection of you. So don't be
Yes.
afraid to speak up, because this is important to me. And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but I do feel like sitting in the expectant mother's seat, like, this is a big deal. The day and the moment that they get to review these profile books, such a big, heavy decision.
Mm.
And I feel like they also want to be able to feel this family
Mhm.
through the pictures.
And they deserve to have an honest representation of that family. You would
Correct.
never want to feel like you've been deceived.
Yep.
And this is such an odd thing, right? I know that one of the birth moms that we have a great relationship with, she's actually in our book club, Jessie, she was like, it was just such an odd thing to think as you're looking through these books, like, I'm going to place my baby with these people. Like, it's such a small way to do such a big thing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, don't also be flippant about this. It is like, recognize the gravity of the situation. Like, it is very serious. Don't just, oh yeah, okay, just make that book. Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
I feel like really do put your heart and your mind to it, because this is a big deal
Yeah.
for an expectant mom. And they want to feel loved and honored through your story as well. So I
Yeah.
think going into it, even in the creation process,
Uh-huh.
with that gravity in mind, is really important.
Oh, totally. And I like that you said that it's just a small way to make the biggest decision of your
Mhm.
life for them. Like that, it almost doesn't seem fair. Like, this is it.
Mhm.
So I guess if you put yourself in that shoes, in that perspective, as you're making this book and choosing your pictures and
Mhm.
choosing your words as you write to them in that letter. I remember it took me a while to write that
Mhm.
letter.
And I think that's a
rewrote
good
it,
thing.
wrote it and rewrote it. And then like had people had the person who's making the book proof it for me. So it is big, but also an exciting step,
Mhm.
because this means you're getting closer to finding your match. This means you're getting closer to bringing that baby home. That is, the reason we're in this journey. So I think there's so much about this that is like a big moment. I felt like it was a big moment when they came in the mail. They were made. They came in the mail. I'm like, oh my gosh, it
Mhm.
felt real.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is a fun moment,
it is fun.
especially after getting through the home study process.
Yeah.
It's kind of the more fun
I
moment
know.
of the pre-adoption journey.
Yeah.
So tell me, Caitlin,
Yeah.
what does it mean? You've got this amazing book that you
Yep.
absolutely love. You feel like it represents your family well. What does it mean to present to a birth mom? What does that even mean?
So the way that it works for us, so presenting means is that we would get emails from our agency, we'd get emails from our consultant. that would say, here's an expectant mother who's looking to match. These are her preferences, whatever you guys seem to match. Do you want to present to her?
Mhm.
And you make the decision, yes or no. And if you say yes, that means that your profile book, you are agreeing that when you're going to present your profile book to this expectant mother. And if she chooses you, you have agreed
To parent her.
child.
Yes.
Or you've agreed to be in this relationship and this adoption plan with her.
Right.
So that is also big because you're like, oh yeah, I'll present. But that means, oh yeah, I'll agree to making this plan with you, and we're going to go forward, and we're going to parent your child.
Mm-hmm.
So that it presenting is exciting, but it's also like when you say yes, present, that is you, yes, agreeing.
Yeah.
That you, yes, agreeing, I'm going to be in this adoption plan if she chooses you, because you can't control once you present who she's going to choose. If she chooses you, she doesn't.
Correct.
And if you choose like, oh, I presented, I want to pull back, make sure you tell your agency right away before this expectant mother read your profile book, because a lot of times after you say, yes, I'm going to present, it's very not cool to pull back. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Am I saying that right? What am I trying to say? Yeah.
I think you're just saying you wouldn't want to contribute to the
pain
of the birth mom of like if she liked certain books and then they are like, oh, never mind.
I didn't really want to show you my family. Yeah. Like that could be like, not cool.
And presenting just means that the agency will present it. It does not mean that you are personally delivering your book. Just for those that are completely
clarity. Thanks
uninformed.
For that. Yes.
It just means you are giving permission for that expectant mom to view your family and consider your family for their child.
Yeah. So after you say yes, okay, present. Agency, you get you have my permission. Please present our profile to this family. How long should we anticipate that taking for the expectant mother to review?
Yeah. So there is no set time. Sometimes a expectant mom might make a decision within a day or two. They just really connect. They know that they want to move forward with a certain family. Sometimes those women have the opportunity to take those books home, to mull over them for a couple of weeks. So once you present, don't have that expectation on yourself or on that mom to choose right away. It can be up to, I would say, a couple of weeks for her to consider.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I do agree. And I would say once you present, your agency will likely tell you this. So it's nothing that I need to tell you that you wouldn't know. But if you present to an expectant mother, do not also present to another expectant mother. One expectant mother at a time. Because if you present to this one, she chooses you and she chooses you. Oopsie. No. That's a bit of a pickle. So once you present, that's you committing to that timeline, however long it may take for her to choose. And yeah, so if that expectant mother does not choose your family, I don't say it's a no. I just say it's not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This child was meant for
not
another family.
Right.
Not yet. And it's not even know that your family isn't worthy of this, or your family isn't suited for this, or that you don't, whatever, because you can get in your head. So this presenting period can be a little bit hard, because it doesn't mean that like, oh shoot, this adoption process is going to take forever. It just means that that's not your child.
And just for those that also are maybe in this step right now and you're feeling discouraged, I know that it's super simple to start then judging your own family, right? If you've heard no several times, right? Or I'm sorry, she went a different direction several times. It's so easy to fall into, well, what's wrong with our family? Do they not like that we have kids? Do we need to get a family dog? Are we not attractive enough? I see all these perfect profiles of these cute little attractive couples. Is it because I'm not attractive enough? I know those thoughts creep into all of our heads, but don't let that discourage you.
Right.
Your family is unique in a way that only your family is, and you are just as worthy of this journey as any other family. It just sometimes you just never know why an expectant mom might connect with a certain family, and she has every right to choose that family that she truly connects with, because this, like we said, is probably one of the most important decisions of her life. So give yourself grace, give all of the women that are viewing your profile grace, and just know, like Caitlin said, what's meant to be will happen.
Yeah. And so like I don't know if this is encouraging or discouraging, but you ended up with the son that was meant to be in your family. How many no's did you all hear?
We had over 20.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
over 20 emails that we were like, she chose a different family, or she
Yeah.
went a different way, or she chose to parent. And those all were
Not meant to
what
be.
they chose.
Yeah, not meant to be. So
Mhm.
so I don't mean that to be discouraging that you are going to hear 20 no's, but there are families who hear 30 no's and 40 no's and
Mhm.
or 5 no's or whatever it is. But it just is that trust the process and trust your heart in all of those decisions that you make, because it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have presented. It really doesn't mean that, because you don't know if you presenting led this birth mom here or there, expectant mother there or there. So trust the process and trust your heart and trust your gut in that. But don't be discouraged if you hear a no or 2 no's, because it's a journey.
Mhm.
It is. It is a journey.
It's so true.
Yeah, 20 no's. That's a lot.
It
How did that
was.
feel?
It felt discouraging a lot of times. It really did.
Yeah.
It's hard to not get attached, even sometimes, just
Oh,
to
let's talk
the
about that.
profiles.
Let's talk about that.
It really was. And there are still like some of the profiles that took a bit longer, and you start praying about this child and dreaming about this child that you've read just a little bit about, right? Or that expectant mom, like praying for her, knowing the little bit that you know about her. And I think that that's okay. And I would even say that that's good. I would never say that it's a bad thing for you to love another human, right? And there have been times when I'm even like, I think about them. Oh, I wonder where that baby is right now. I hope and pray that that baby is safe and happy and healthy.
My crazy.
Whether they went with another adoptive family or she chose to parent. Like, I just don't ever think that it's a bad thing as a human to connect with another human. And so even though it can be hard and discouraging, know that those are positive feelings, and your time is coming.
Yeah. And I think that is a good way to approach this waiting process or this presenting process, is that somebody told me this, and this is what I started to do. I don't remember who told me this, but every time I present, or every expectant mother situation or profile that I read, they went on my prayer list, right? So then that was me specifically praying for them by name that I had, and for that baby she was carrying. And so it became an intentional thing added to my prayer life. So whether we matched with this mom or not, she was receiving prayers, and she was being surrounded with love, and knowing that like she was covered in prayer was like a comforting thing for me. Now, there are some profiles that you said that really you're like, ooh, this one's going to hurt if it's a no, because I feel like something different for them, and you don't know why you feel that way. The no's do hurt a little bit more. But you get through it. You will.
You do.
The encouraging word is you will get through it. And once you come to the end of the journey and you have your child, you understand all of those no's. Sounds so cliche, but you do understand why all of those not yets, as you say, were said to you, because it all makes sense.
And at Funding Love, we are always talking about community. This is another time to really lean into your community. Find that friend. They don't have to be in the adoption process or have adopted, but find that friend that you can give that phone call to and be like, I still haven't heard anything and I'm going crazy. Or it was another no, like, come bring over a cup of coffee and tell me that I'm not, all the reasons that are going to go through your head, just to have that person in your life, whether it's your spouse. But I think oftentimes our spouses can feel just as much as we're feeling. And so having that outside friend or family member to be that support for you is super important.
Yeah, husbands process different too. They do. They process in like a protective way. So it's a little bit of a different lamenting with them than it would be with a girlfriend who you can just sit in your cozies with, you. When I was going through our second process, it was just like, all the feelings were thrown over here.
All the feelings, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's like we said
community.
Before. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
get ready for it, but also you will get through it, and it's going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah,
we can confidently say it was worth it.
We can confidently say it was worth it, and I can say that the presenting phase step. The profile and the presenting profile was daunting for me, and it felt overwhelming because I wanted to get it right, but it was also a very exciting step. So just to wrap it up, this can feel overwhelming and daunting because of the task at hand that you're representing, who you are, what represents me, what do I feel like, what do I look like in a book, right? All of those things. But it's also very exciting because this is the part where you can say, we are here to love your child. We are here because this is why we chose adoption. This is why all the things
It
and
just
just
chance to share you.
yeah. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Mhm.
So that's the last
Mhm.
encouraging
Yeah.
thing I want to say.
Well, I think it would be fun to wrap up
Yes.
by asking each other like a couple of questions about our profile books just to help you kind
I
of
wish
get
I had
inspired
mine.
in yours if you are on that part of your journey. So I'm going to
This is
just
fun.
ask you, what was your favorite picture that was in your profile book?
Oh my gosh. Well, the ones of my daughter Libby were so cute in our second profile book. They were so cute because she was at such a cute age. But there was this cute little segment in our book where the person editing our profile book wanted cute selfies of Adam and I together.
Okay.
So she wanted us to do one with like our cheeks touching, him kissing my cheek, us hugging. So there's like this little like snippet of photos that are like 1, 2, 3.
Does it
like
look like you're in a
row.
photo booth?
Yes, it was
Oh,
like a
that's
little
so
photo booth thing.
cute.
So
Okay.
and they were black and white. She made them black and white, and they were just so cute of like showing our natural interaction of just like lovey-dovey,
Mhm.
like cutesy stuff. So that was probably
Mhm.
my favorite little section because I was like, oh, that's cute. That is us. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was. What about you?
I think when I think about our profile book that I had a picture on the back cover of it it was our fourth child that we got through adoption. So we already had 3 and we had just us, the back of us, like walking on the beach in the sand that like my mom took. It was not a professional picture, but it was like our family walking on the beach and it was just us walking on the beach and you could see our footprints.
So
I think that was probably my favorite picture, probably why I put it on the back. But just like knowing that right now we have 5 footprints in the sand and I can't wait to like add that 6 like little footprints walking beside
with
us.
us.
Yeah. So what did you have any like fun little quirky facts in there? Like you said, like your favorite color or anything like that? Like what fun thing did you add that wasn't necessarily like telling your story, but
So
was just
there was
fun?
like, so favorite color, favorite TV show, which is
Okay.
Friends for me.
Okay.
And Adam's a Seinfeld. So that was fun that we were side by side. Favorite movie and like favorite snack.
Okay.
So like our favorite snack, mine was
Yeah.
like gummy bears and
Uh-huh.
his was probably like French fries or something, like that. But
Mhm.
those fun little get to know yous. And then we put some for Libby too, like what her favorites were, which is so cute. When
That
she
is
was,
really cute.
when we were going through that process, she was 3. Maybe she was like not even 3. Yeah, she was about 3 when we made that profile book. So cute little 3-year-old answers. So that was fun. Yeah. What about y'all?
I think my favorite little fun fact that we did in there, me and my husband met at Starbucks. And so we had pictures of us like in our green aprons and stuff.
Aw.
And we put our Starbucks orders. So like, what would you order at Starbucks?
What's your Starbucks order?
Yeah.
What was it? Do you recall what it was at the time?
It's been the same. I really like just like a black Americano.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that Tim's is pretty similar,
Iced coffee?
an iced coffee.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun to be able to just do something silly. So don't be afraid to add in those little silly things because I think that's what also showed your personality. Yeah.
Mhm.
You think it's silly to add in your favorite breakfast cereal, but if you just love Captain Crunch, put it in there. I mean, she might love Captain Crunch and has craved it her whole pregnancy and you never know.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to show little things like that along the way. So this was fun. This was informative. And I hope that you guys got some great education and encouragement from it. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our podcast with an adopted family you may know.
That's right. And remember to have fun in this process because you will look back on it. And I want you all to look back on it with funness and with joy and with good memories. So thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Funding Love Adoption Podcast with Nell and Kate.
See you later.
See you later.
Cheers.